Oh, okay, there's a bunch of what ifs tonight, and I'm not sure exactly how you want me to explain it, but time for my Raw review. Tonight's Raw, I'm not going to say it was bad, it was more or less average, but it left us with a lot of what ifs. Like, what really happened wasn't really that interesting, but like the what ifs is what got me here. Okay, we kick off the show with Shane O'Mac. Great way to kick off the show. That's going to get the crowd erupt, right? That's going to make them happy, thankfully. But yeah, Shane McMahon comes out there and he starts talking. Kind of needs to brush up on his promo skills. I didn't think it was very good. Didn't sound like he was being too real with it, and it just seemed like it was kind of just thrown on. But then Vince comes out and he makes the segment golden. He talks about how he was writing Shane out of his will, and then he stumbled across a picture of him and Shane when Shane was a little kid. He takes it out of his coat pocket, throws the picture frame on the ground, glass everywhere, and then just stomps on it, and then tells Shane that it's funny how his greatest creation is going to destroy his greatest failure at WrestleMania. And then he sends down security to take Shane McMahon out of the ring. And of course, you know, Shane's going to throw in a few jabs there. He's going to show everyone his skills that he's been working on. He's been posting those Facebook videos. And I mean, more or less, it's decent. I mean, he can still throw strikes fairly well. One thing I've always hated is those punches. They look weird. They're like short arm. They're not like actual full swing. They're just like short arm type things. Which, I mean, whatever. They're more or less jabs. But I thought it was decent, besides the freaking security guard botched himself going over the ropes, and that was kind of bad. That wasn't the first botch getting thrown out of the ring. Tamina botched later getting thrown out of the ring. But overall, that was a very interesting segment, and great way to kick off the show. And then after that, we get Kevin Owens versus Neville. It's a fairly good match, I'm going to be honest. There's this one cool spot where Neville went to fly over the ropes, that Spaceman plancha, and Kevin Owens moved out of the way. Neville lands on his feet, but then Kevin Owens takes him and throws him into the steps, and that's how he gets the advantage. We come back from break. Neville ends up hitting a few cool moves, hits a shooting star press onto Kevin Owens on the outside, which looked fucking badass. He hit the fucking ground hard, too. It looked bad. But it was freaking awesome. I should have talked about in the opening segment how Vince McMahon teased The Undertaker coming out, and then it turned out to be him. Very good ploy by Vince. I wasn't even thinking about that. That segment overall was really good. But this match was really good, too. Neville ends up almost winning the match. I can't remember with what. But then Kevin Owens kicks out and gets a roll-up on Neville. And 1, 2, 3, pulls the tights, of course. Then he decides to whoop Neville's ass and throws his Intercontinental title down on the ground and looks at it. And if you know anything from NXT, that kind of gave away that it was going to be Sami Zayn. Because I believe he did that with the NXT Championship right before he apron powerbombed Sami Zayn on NXT. So he did that, cluing us in that Zayn was going to come out. And then, of course, Sami Zayn's music hits. He comes down to save the day. And all I'm going to say about this is I did do a reaction video, a live reaction, because I got word that something big was going to happen. And, of course, I would have figured out anyway because of the title on the ground in that whole segment. But overall, I didn't really pump Morrissey for it because I kind of already knew Sami Zayn was coming out. What would have been badass that they could have done is we never really got to see Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe, you know. So take this in this, and Samoa Joe's music could have hit. That could have been his freaking Raw debut. It could have been Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. How badass would have that been? That would have been freaking sick. And then they could have thrown AJ Styles in their triple threat with shades of TNA days with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles in triple threat. Just replace Chris Daniels with Kevin Owens. Have a badass match right there. But no, they didn't do that. They had Sami Zayn come out, and it would have made so much more sense for Samoa Joe because then Sami Zayn could have won the 2 out of 3 falls match. Then Sami Zayn could have went on to NXT TakeOver Dallas and defeated Finn Balor for the NXT Championship to become the first ever two-time NXT champion. That would have all worked out, but for some reason they had to have Sami Zayn come out. I know they want to extend the feud. This has been a long-ass feud throughout their whole fucking careers, though. Can't we see Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe? We only got one match that ended in DQ, or no contest, something like that. We need another Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe match, and that would have been a great way to save WrestleMania. But they didn't. But I'll still, stupid ladybugs, I'll still be down to see Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in person. That should be cool. Then after that, we get Dolph Ziggler backstage, and he's with the broski from the LI, Zack Ryder. Yeah. Okay. He was only there for about 2 seconds, long enough for Stephanie to tell him to stay hyped. NXT things. No one knows anything about that if they don't watch NXT, but yeah, hype bros. Yeah, that's the thing. But no, Dolph Ziggler apparently posted a tweet on Twitter, and it was funny because I actually seen it on Twitter today when I scrolled through the tweets. Funny enough, I actually seen it for once. Like, usually when they say they post these tweets, I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't see that shit. But no, I seen Dolph Ziggler's. So yeah, he really did post this. I'm plugging my phone in. But yeah, he did post that, which, I mean, it was kind of stupid. This whole segment led to Stephanie just throwing him in a handicap match, 1-on-3 versus the League of Nations. And for some reason it was elimination just to make Bad News Barrett look bad. But, yeah, that was dumb. After that, we got Brie Bella taking on Summer Rae after that segment. And this match was okay, very short, just like the other Divas match. I don't know why the fuck they're making these Divas matches so short, because the Divas match is the match that I'm interested in, besides Shane O'Mac and The Undertaker. The only other match that I'm even interested in at Mania, don't give a fuck about Lesnar or Ambrose, it's been built up so terrible. But seriously, the Triple Threat Women's match, and they put Becky and Sasha in a 2-minute match. Are you serious, bro? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Brie Bella taking on Summer Rae. Honestly, this was really pointless. Summer Rae hit her a couple moves, and then Lana came out, which this is the thing that actually mattered. Lana came out, distracted Brie Bella. Summer Rae botched the roll-up, but still got the 3 count. How the fuck do you botch the roll-up? I don't know. I vouched for Summer Rae a couple weeks ago when she had a match. I thought she was doing good, and then she botches the fucking roll-up. I don't know, maybe it's a one-time mistake, but whatever. Summer Rae picks up the win. That's not the point, because Lana gets in the ring and does a wrestling move. She kicks Brie Bella in the stomach. Looked great, by the way. She sold the shit out of it. Lana, I think, can actually wrestle. I've never seen her wrestle before. I didn't even know she's a wrestler, but it looks like she's going to finally wrestle, and that's going to be okay, never mind. Lana hits her with the Bella Buster, using Brie's finisher against her. I like that. I thought that was cool. And plus we got to see Lana in action. Okay. Yeah, then we get Dean Ambrose segment where he's going out there talking about how he never is good with authority and he wants to be WWE champion, but he doesn't want to wear a suit and he doesn't want to go take pictures of little kids and throw pitches at the baseball game like your boy Seth Rollins and all this shit. And whatnot, mentions Roman Reigns one time, Roman Reigns just starts getting booed like crazy just when Dean mentions the name, just like that. He just starts getting booed automatically. Good thing they didn't have Reigns show up, because Reigns was a giant pussy bitch. But that's besides the point. He's too scared to even show up to Chicago. Fuck you, you pussy. But, Dean Ambrose segment, Triple H cuts him off, and they basically just talk about their match at Roadblock, which we all know Triple H is going to retain. It wouldn't make any sense for Dino to win. Although, if he did, that would be a huge swerve and it'd make things interesting, but no chance in hell. Triple H retains. There's no reason for Triple H to win the belt at the Royal Rumble, win the whole Royal Rumble match just to win the title, and then lose it 3 weeks prior to WrestleMania. Does that make any sense whatsoever? No. So, yeah, Triple H is obviously going to retain. Then after that, we get the Dolph Ziggler versus League of Nations match. All I'm going to say about this shit is Dolph Ziggler ends up pinning fucking Bad News Barrett in a 3-on-1 handicap match. For a second there, I thought Dolph Ziggler was going to bury the League of Nations. I mean, the League of Nations is already buried, right? So, I mean, you can't bury them anymore. They already fucking suck. So, I mean, what's the point? But he pins Bad News Barrett. The other two end up defeating him, but he pins Bad News Barrett. I was sitting here thinking, why the fuck are you doing that? Bad News Barrett's the only interesting person in the League of Nations. And I was like, oh, wait, yeah, it's because Bad News Barrett's leaving in a few months, so they want to stick it to him. Like, fuck you. So, yeah, great job for doing that. And for some reason, Alberto Del Doritos wasn't even out there, so I don't know what Del Doritos was doing. Maybe he's finally getting a sponsorship with the Doritos, but I don't know. Alberto Del Doritos wasn't out there. No one cares. Then we get the 2-minute match with Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks taking on Tamina and Naomi, and they were backstage before this, and they're just talking about hyping up their triple threat match. So now it's announced finally that it's going to be a triple threat. Thank God, at Mania. But first I thought Sasha was just going to win and it was going to be one-on-one. And then I heard Charlotte got injured there for a second. Thank God that didn't happen. So yes, we are getting the freaking triple threat. The only other match to look forward to on the card besides Taker and Shane. The only other fucking match to look forward to. Who gives a fuck about the rest of the matches, to be honest? But yeah, Sasha ends up winning the match. Very cool ending, though. Sasha did the sliced bread, except she landed on her feet behind Naomi right into the bank statement, backstab her into the crossface. Badass freaking ending. And when Naomi tapped, I'm going to be honest, it didn't even look like she tapped. It was kind of weird. It was like, she just like hates her freaking position in the WWE right now. She's like, why the fuck? Okay, I'm just going to tap out anyways in 2 minutes. Yay. That's what she was acting like. And I don't blame her because Naomi's actually a good wrestler. Tamina, no, but Naomi's actually a decent wrestler. Then we get R-Truth backstage, and he's got another segment with Goldust. First we see Mark Henry back there with R-Trizzle, and R-Truth's got this pizza delivery boy outfit on, and he's carrying a pizza. And he goes up to Goldust and tells him that he's got pizza delivery, and then Goldust asks him, what the hell are you doing? And then R-Truth's like, fine, you got me. I dressed up like a Chicago pizza delivery guy because that's something crazy you would do. And then Goldust is like, why would you think I would do that? Like, acting stupid or whatnot, because he hasn't done stupid shit before, right? So they do that, and then R-Truth tells him that he got him a pizza with all the toppings. And then Goldust is like, are you trying to trick me? Don't you know that I'm lactose intolerant and this will blow up my butt? He just says it like that. And then he storms off. And R-Truth's like, sorry, I didn't know about your explosive butt. That was actually probably the second best segment on Raw. The second best segment. The best match was, of course, the tag titles match, which is next. And it's the New Day going up against Y2AJ. Yeah, I'm never going to say that name again, thankfully, because they're not on TV anymore, like everyone predicted. But surprisingly enough, Jericho was the one to attack AJ. Who would have guessed that? Now we're going to get Jericho versus AJ Styles for a fourth time? That shit was supposed to end at Fastlane. I got pissed at that point after the match. This match was fucking badass. This match was, pun intended, phenomenal. But freaking the shit afterwards just pissed me the fuck off. I mean, like, really, we're going to get Jericho, Styles, number 4? Really? Are you serious, bro? This is like Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler number 100. Except this is just 4, but this will probably carry on after WrestleMania, this bullshit. I was waiting for the Balor Club or someone to freaking show up and beat the shit out of Y2J. That would have been great. Or CM Punk to come out there, even Hornswoggle to come out there and headbutt him in the nuts and then tadpole splash him. I don't give a fuck. That was a stupid segment. Why the hell would you have Y2J attack the phenomenal AJ Styles? Really? You want a match for? Really? Do you want to bore me? Is that what you want to do? You want to make me bored of AJ Styles matches? AJ Styles is my second favorite fucking wrestler. Seriously, second favorite fucking wrestler. And you're making me bored of his stupid matches by putting him with Y2J for a fourth time. The first match was good. The second match was okay. The third match should have ended it because it was badass. But now you're going to have a fourth match. This is just carrying on a feud for way too long. Now back to the match. I want to end the review with talking about that match because the rest of the show completely sucked, and I want to end this on a good note. So after that, we got Tyler Breeze taking on Kalisto, and I was thinking for a second, hey, maybe Tyler Breeze is going to get a United States title shot. Oh, guess what? I was wrong, because you know what Vince likes to do? He likes to bury the NXT wrestlers because he's sour. He doesn't understand the power of positivity. He is pissed off because his son-in-law Triple H does 200 times better of a job booking and building talent than he ever did. So, good job, Vince. You're just being sour like a little bitch, just like you buried the Ascension. Now you're going to bury Tyler Breeze. You made Neville a mid-carder when he could have been better. You made Kevin Owens a mid-carder when he should be fucking in the main event right now. Good fucking job. Let's just wait for him to bury Sami Zayn. Good fucking job. And you tried to bury Big E too by throwing him in this New Day crap that originally sucked, but now it's the best thing in the world, and I'm sure Vince McMahon hates it. Or maybe he doesn't because he's making money off of fucking unicorn horns that look like strap-on dildos. That's besides the point. Tyler Breeze ended up losing this match to Kalisto in probably about 2 minutes. It was stupid. Salida Del Sol, Lucha Dusha Dragon. They're just pushing him because they want him to be Rey Mysterio because Vince is racist. And he thinks just because Kalisto can do flips and he has a mask on that he's Rey Mysterio. So fuck you, Vince. Once again, fuck you times 2. But this match was completely stupid. Then we get Ryback and Kalisto backstage. And I'm thinking Ryback's going to promote a rivalry here with Kalisto. But then the big dumb bastard's just like, hey, Kalisto, you should break up your team with Sin Cara. Because when you fight by yourself, it makes you better. Yeah. Fucking Ryback, you dumb fuck. Why the hell would you not build a feud with Kalisto if you're going to talk to him? No, instead you want Kalisto versus Botchamania at WrestleMania? I mean, that fits Botchamania at WrestleMania. I guess that would work. That would be god-awful. If that happens, that should be the pre-show over the friggin' Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'd rather see fucking Vince McMahon fight Hornswoggle in a Kiss My Arse match than freaking watch Kalisto take on Sin Cara for the United States Championship. You got Lucha Dusha Dragon versus Botchamania. That should be great. But no, that's what they hype up, and then he tells Kalisto to watch him rip off the wings of the social butterflies. And I'm just sitting here thinking, really, you dumb fuck, social butterflies? I mean, that's not even clever. Okay, besides the point, that's not the freaking point. Ryback goes one-on-one with the Axeman, and Ryback beats the shit out of the Axeman. And I'm sitting here thinking, what the fuck, man? What happened to Ryback? Everyone loved that team. Everyone loved the Ryback, right? No, they were okay about 2 matches or something. But the best part of this match was when Ryback does the running high knee in the corner, the run-up knee that CM Punk made famous. And I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, CM Punk hates Ryback. Ryback hates CM Punk, so Ryback's going to use CM Punk's move in Chicago. What the hell do you think's going to happen? Immediate boos throughout the whole fucking building, and then they start chanting CM Punk for about a good 2 minutes, which was freaking hilarious. That's the second time, actually, that night they started chanting CM Punk, which I'm happy about. They chanted it at Vince at the start of the show, which was great. And Vince was just kind of standing there smirking, like that's all he can do. And then they chanted at Ryback, and that just was even better. Fuck you, Ryback, you big dumb fuck. Why the fuck would you do CM Punk's move in Chicago? Are you retarded? Whatever. Ryback picks up the win with the stupid shell shock. Okay, and then we get the main event, which was set up earlier, and it's Dean Ambrose taking on Bray Wyatt for about the 1,000,000th time. Speaking of stuff we see 100 and a million times in a row, we don't see stuff 100 million times in a row on my universe, which you can check out, link in the description, maybe an annotation on the screen. That shit's better than the actual WWE product. Fastlane last month compared to my pay-per-view Lithium. Lithium kicked that out of the freaking... Yeah, okay, you get the point. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt. Wasn't even that great of a match. There's a few cool spots. Something I didn't really understand at the starting was the rest of the Wyatt family wasn't out there the whole match till the end. But that was simply because they came out and attacked Ambrose at the end, which set up something kind of interesting, because then Triple H came down to the ring, and Bray and Triple H faced off in the ring like they had a stare-off. And then Bray Wyatt set his sights on the title and raised his hands down the championship, and then started laughing and then walked off. So that leads me to think, here's more what-ifs. What if Bray Wyatt actually ends up fighting Triple H at Mania? I know they've teased it in the past, and they just teased it again. What if Bray Wyatt fights Triple H, Dean Ambrose defeats Triple H at Roadblock, and fights Roman Reigns for the championship? That would save the whole friggin' pay-per-view. Then we got Triple H going one-on-one with Bray Wyatt. That would be interesting. It's the King of Kings versus the Eater of All Worlds. That would be kind of interesting. You could build that decently. And then Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. But then here comes the Roadblock. Brock Lesnar. What the fuck's Brock gonna do? That's the problem. That's what it came down to. There's like 5 people right here that could have good matches, but there's 5. There's going to be one person left out unless they want to do a triple threat, which would make no sense. Unless Randy Orton finally makes his return and we get Orton versus Brock. Although that wouldn't make any sense. What about Orton versus Brie? That wouldn't make any sense either. Orton versus Triple H. We've seen that 1,000,000,001 times, but I wouldn't mind seeing it again. But then what does that leave everything else? Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns for the title? How's that going to get set up? Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt for the title? Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in a rematch? I don't fucking know. That's what makes this interesting. But anyways, Triple H goes to beat up Dean Ambrose afterwards. Dean Ambrose catches him with the dirty deeds, and it ends with Dean Ambrose standing above Triple H with the WWE Championship. Which right then and there, I'm thinking, no, they're just doing this to make you think Dean Ambrose is going to win. There's no fucking way Dean Ambrose is going to win. But then what about the whole Bray Wyatt segment? Maybe that's a tease for after Mania. Maybe Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns again. I don't fucking know. Although I don't think anyone liked that feud the first time, so I think it'd be a bad idea to do it again. But, I mean, it leaves a bunch of possibilities. Now we're going to talk about the New Day taking on AJ Styles and Chris Jericho, which should have been the main event. And this match was awesome. We had the Unicorn Stampede. Best move in the WWE, in my opinion. Unicorn Stampede, love it. It's hilarious. But there was a lot of scary scenarios here where AJ Styles and Chris Jericho almost won the match. And this is the only scenario where I'd be pissed for AJ Styles to win a belt. So, yeah, I like the New Day that much where I'd be pissed if my second favorite wrestler of all time, AJ freaking Styles, won a championship. He didn't, thankfully. There's a lot of cool spots, though. Jericho hit the lion salt into a springboard 450 splash from AJ, got a really close 2 count before Big E pulled Kofi out of the ring. That was close. Kofi and AJ hit this really cool counter into the inverted DDT, the springboard DDT. Doesn't he have a name for it? Shit, I'm forgetting the name of it. Ain't there a name for that DDT? Maybe there's not. Maybe it's just the springboard DDT. Is there not a name for it? I'm trying to think. I don't think there is, actually. Okay, hit the springboard inverted DDT. Always badass. This is the second time he's been able to connect with it now. I think AJ Styles is starting to get more used to the WWE rings, I guess. The WWE rings might be built a little bit different. The ropes may be a little bit less springy, if you will. So now AJ Styles has kind of realized he needs a running start at the ropes before he does it, like a full-on running start at it. But he's starting to get it now, which is awesome because I freaking love that move. Then Jericho, towards the end of the match, there was a lot of scary spots, like I said. But Jericho had Kofi in the walls, and he had him in it for about a good 3 minutes. Like, Kofi went for the Trouble in Paradise kick after he took out AJ, and when he did, Jericho caught his feet, and then rolled him over into the walls. He had him in it for about a good solid 2 minutes. Xavier Woods came over and was trying to push the ropes towards Kofi. Kofi's almost going to tap. And then AJ Styles comes flying forearm, takes out Xavier Woods. And at this point, I've got my hands on my head like this, and I'm just rocking back and forth. No, 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 New Day can't lose. And then Big E comes, he takes out AJ Styles. Then Big E tags himself in, and Big E whoops Jericho's ass, springs off the ropes. Jericho catches Big E, knocks his feet down, about ready to put him in the walls. Big E fights out of it. Jericho throws Big E into the ring post, and then Big E turns around. Jericho goes to catch him with the code breaker, and when he does, Big E holds him there, blocks the code breaker, tosses him up onto his shoulders. Big ending. 1, 2, 3. Fucking badass way to end the match. I forgot where they hit the midnight hour earlier in the match, like from across the ring, which was badass too. Got a really close 2 count until Jericho did the thing with Big E where they do the ROH New Japan style breakup to where they just mow him over into the cover and knock him out. Knock the cover. I didn't explain it very well, but you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen the ROH or New Japan match, they do that like all the time. So I liked how they pulled that out. That's probably AJ Styles' idea, but they pulled that shit out. And then, like I said, after the match, Jericho attacked him, but we're not going to talk about that because that was a badass match. That was the only match that I was interested in the whole night. Kevin Owens versus Neville was alright. It was but this match was fucking badass. Like, this should have been a pay-per-view match. This was freaking awesome, and New Day returns. I mean, New Day retains because New Day rocks. 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 Okay, you get the point. But anyways, check out Lithium and all my other videos, and subscribe because I'm almost to 100, and once I get to 100, I'm probably going to do some special video for it, so stay tuned.